Okay, it's 5:30. It's weird too. It's like yesterday when I was downloading, it went like a long ways. It was almost done, and then it started back over. So then I started a second one, and that one went on before the other one because it started back over, but the other one went on first. That happened though when I was on Comcast too. So, was that what I was on? Comcast or I don't know. I think it was called Comcast. No, I don't think it was called Comcast. It was called Xfinity. I think Xfinity is the same as Comcast. I think it's like this partnership or something. But anyways, so I don't know. There was lots of just kept snowing and snowing and snowing and snowing, and so I don't know if that was interfering, because I have watched my little satellite thing, and it says there's an obstruction, but every time I go and look, it always says it's connected. So I don't want to mess with anything and turn anything, because I know there's obstructions everywhere. And right now it seems like I've got a pretty good spot. So I don't know if the morning time it's there's more obstruction, and so I can't, like, it seems very variable of how long it takes the videos to download. Sometimes it seems like, whoa, that going really fast. And then other time it's going slow. And then like yesterday it started over. So anyways, we'll just see. So it's 5:30. So I don't know when this will be on. Could be 7:30. Could be 9:30. I don't know. But last time was fucked, man. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I feel like I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm exhausted all the time. And usually I can just go lay down and in like 2 seconds I'm asleep. And last night I just kept laying there and laying there and laying there. And it was hours, and I was like, why can't I relax? And it was like everything was so loud. Oh my God, I felt like everything was so loud, and everything, like you could just feel the world shaking or something. And I was like, this has got to be the energy on the planet. This has got to be. And I'm telling you, there is some weird with the atmosphere, which I don't remember if I already said this to you guys about. I had said all this about the planes, right? And I had said there's something, I mean, when you're talking about the energetic shift of the planet, then yeah, there's some fucked up shit in the atmosphere. And so I've been saying it for years because I've been talking about this pole shift. And the pole shift, I talk about it on the energetic level, the spiritual level and stuff. I don't know all the physical, because the physical is an illusion. And so I don't know what all we are here to sign up for, what we're here to experience. But scientists are now trying to explain what's going on with all the plane crashes, which there was another one yesterday. And the video of that, because there was somebody, I saw a picture of somebody like on the tarmac or whatever on the thing where it crashed, and it's upside down. So I don't even know what all went on with that one, like all these crazy storylines that just play out and play out. But the scientists are now saying that they believe that the crashes are because of the pole shift, and that now the North Pole is like over by Ecuador or something. I don't remember where they said, but it was a huge difference of where they're saying it is. And so, and there have been this, for a few years, this science part of the population, whatever, that keeps talking about the pole shift on the physical side of things. All I know is in this pole shift, physically, is that things are going to change. It's going to be dramatic change in things. And when I saw the floods in Kentucky and all the city under the water and stuff like that, and in Italy they had a 9 or 9.5 earthquake. Don't forget, like underneath us, these earthquakes are bouncing back and forth. They're ricocheting under there. They're hitting, the tectonic plates are shifting underneath us, and we all just keep scattering around. Let's go shopping. Where the holiday is it? Let's go do this. It's just like we're just mindlessly running from one thing to the next. I've got places to be. And so that is the distraction of life, to keep you disconnected from what's going on. But I'm telling you, it's fucking, Jesus Christ. I can feel the shifting is intense, man. And So the ricochet, whatever, the reverberation. So when something shifts, it's going to shift over here. It's going to shift. So when big things are happening over there, if a big thing doesn't follow over here, it still is like it's pulling more of the Jengas out, like that Jenga game. So more of those are coming out. So it's making it more unstable all the time. So whatever's going to go is going to go. And it seems it's going to be dramatic. It seems going to be big. I think what I had heard on the Italy one was 1,000 people were missing, and maybe there was a few dead people, but they hadn't found these other people, which I think that there's so many lies about the numbers, because if you go look up about the North Carolina stuff, they're lying about so much stuff. They downplay things. But when I saw the footage of Kentucky, I was just again thinking, this is what's going to be going down. All of these, the places that we live in, the places that we've populated, which is so trippy too, because this one guy is just freaking out, and he keeps doing these videos where it's almost like, is this for real? Like, is this for real, or is this guy making this shit up? But I went in the comments, and there was people like, oh God, you got to do what you call it next. So I don't know. You can go look up all these videos. I've seen lots and lots and lots on China now. And, but India, a whole bunch of places where they are so further advanced. Like, they are like this high technology kind of places. And then here we are like the Flintstones. It's so weird. But, it just, again, as a reminder, we're in all different realities and stuff. And so this reality is waking up. We've been out to pasture. We've been out having the life sucked out of us, man. So anyways, yeah, because this is the biggest transfer of wealth now. Because, okay, so there was a couple things. So did I finish saying about that? Okay, the shifting, the things are going under the water, that underground, under mud, underwater. And oh yeah, there's a trippy thing under the Great Lakes. I saw this girl talking about this really trippy thing that is there's gonna be so much stuff that we're gonna start being exposed to. I'll tell you the Great Lakes one real quick, and I just will hit some high notes. So the Great Lakes are a newer division, a newer landscape, and so it has a longer history. And so now some of the history, and there's a trippy thing, something about the water too. It preserves things. And so there is a whole bunch of like the history underneath the water, and they are able to pull it up, and it's retains its integrity because of this water, whatever, these minerals or whatever that's in it. It keeps things from falling apart or something. But the thing that is really cool is, okay, so one of the things was with their weapons that they were pulling out. One of the things was that they were making some of these arrowheads or some of these tool things with obsidian, which obsidian wasn't from the area. It was from, I think that they said, Oregon. So then they were like, okay, so how did they get this from Oregon over to Michigan or wherever, where in that area where the Great Lakes are. And so that is one thing, it's like about that. But this is so what they've also seen now, and I guess it's from aerial something, looking down or something, but they've seen that they created a trap in order to hunt. And so what the trap is like they make a rock wall or a road or something, and then they go up and they curve out, and then they go around like a circle. So then the thing gets trapped. Whatever animal they're chasing gets trapped in this circle. So it's chasing them up and then trapping them in this circle, and so that they can kill them. And they found that, and they said that the history on that type of hunting is like, I don't know, Mesopotamia or something. I don't know. It is not it just changes all the stuff. Everything is going to be changing, what they've told us. And to me, how I see it is it's just these different realities and different times and stuff like that. And it's best for us to not try and put it together in a linear fashion, but to just see it as time periods of experience that the soul comes into have these experiences. And it's these dates or these time periods has to do with alignments in the sky or something, is what navigates the ages, the energy and stuff. So anyways, it's all like written in the stars. And so anyways, but they've got some really interesting things about that. And I've heard too a long while ago that there's going to be a lot of interesting things over in Scotland that's going to be dug up. And there's going to be, I heard there's something about giants or something. And there's something else. Because in some of these places, giants were with people. And I don't know if there's any more evidence. I don't know why I'm seeing that. I think it was in the video or something. I don't know. But I know that giants have been a part of our civilization for a long time. And it isn't like, I think people have got to quit seeing things as like other beings, like, because inside we're all souls. And this is like our, the container, the containment. I get why they say that, because it's what it is. And so so even giants, it's not like, oh, well, they're giants. No, they're just souls that are in a giant representation of self for different reasons. Mostly the things are the people exhibit and stuff are for their world, to be able to exist in their world, which to me, it made it make sense to me when they were talking about, I don't remember if it's Syrians or somebody, but they have 4 fingers. They don't have a thumb. They're just 4 fingers, called something too. But see, they don't need this other finger. Whatever they do, they don't need it for grip. They don't have something. And so the 5-finger ones, like, we have more things, like, I don't know if it has to do with climbing and gripping and stuff like that. But so some beings and stuff, they are a representation of what it is their experience is. And so some, they don't have to eat, so they don't really have a mouth. That's something about the Greys I always heard. The reason they have such a small mouth is because that they don't eat, and that they don't need to eat. And there's other beings that don't need to eat. There's other beings that are way more closer to the light body too. I think it has to do with density and stuff, where you are in the vibration and where you're entering, what portal you're going through to go into whatever realms you're going into. So anyways, but it has to do with like kind of like your structure and stuff. Like I said before, I feel like a part of my DNA is something where I was in a part where we were close, like we had to fit through small spaces, and we had to climb because there's a reason why, like being lanky or something, it isn't just like in your family's DNA. There's you also are in your DNA, these other parts of you. And so your DNA isn't just like, oh, your genetics or whatever. That's why, like, there's so many weird things with genetics. But anything that comes out is for your experience. And so, because you can have a, really tall mom and then all her kids be really short. Like my mom, she was dark and all her kids were blonde. And I've seen, there's a black woman on TikTok, and she has a kid. She's married to a white guy, and she has one kid that's very, very white with red hair. And she gets stopped all the time. It is the weirdest thing. Like, people can't wrap their heads around this black woman having a white baby, and they're always saying stuff to her. And she's always like, this is my baby. And they can't understand it. They can't figure it out. But that is, it has more to do with, it's not like it's not like how you want to process, just like with time and stuff. So anyways, you have, like I said, there's parts of you that are coming forward because there are parts of you that you need to work out or work on or whatever. And so much of what you need to work on is accepting yourself, liking yourself, appreciating yourself, giving yourself value. And so anyways, speaking of value, so now I'll go over to this other thing because what I had seen now about the money situation, they are just full steam ahead. I saw where somebody, so on the blue side of the news, they are saying that they're paying him $8 million a day to go in. He's causing nothing but problems and stuff. He's just exposing so much misspending and so much mishandling of money and stuff. I think it's so exciting. I didn't see it coming this way. I knew it was coming, however it was going to be shown, but I didn't see it playing out the way it's playing out. And so I think it's funny, and it's good to watch these people squirm, like Elizabeth Warren and stuff. Yeah, you better squirm, you fucking sellout bitch. I was watching this movie yesterday, and it was this small lawyer, and it was a husband and wife. They were both lawyers, and then they had gotten divorced, and the woman was trying to be independent or whatever. And their kids were growing up, and one of the kids' best friend that she had, known ever since he was little, he was getting taken by a team. So he was going to the majors, Red Sox or something, out of high school. And so I'm pretty sure it was high school. I don't think it was college. I'm pretty sure it was high school. And yeah, because he was like 17 or something. And so it was really exciting. Everybody was so excited. And then it was like 2 weeks later, he was diagnosed with mouth cancer, and he was on his death, like, you're going to die. That's it. You're dying. And you should have went and done this stuff when they told you, because a dentist had told him, go get a spot biopsy or something. And he blew it off, and he didn't do anything about it. And so then it turned into cancer, and he got mouth cancer, which there was a lot of people who did chew. So anyways, he wants to sue the tobacco industry because of what they had done, how they had tricked him, and then he got addicted to it, and they marketed it to young kids, and then when you because this lawyer was uncovering some of this stuff, and they were purposely marketing this stuff towards kids. Even on a map, you could follow, like, there was certain kids that they were marketing it to. And so it's very directed. It's very, these crimes are very, none of these is by accident. Anyways, so what pissed me off though was, because I've also been in the court system against these corporate lawyers, and they're pieces of shit. And so when she's going up against the corporate lawyers and stuff, and they just fucking make a wall of, she calls them people in pinstripes and stuff, and to go against the people who are being killed and dying. These corporate fucking sellouts are gonna take us all down. It's just disgusting. I was like, that is so fucking bullshit. And it is, it's just disgusting. Like, these lawyers are gonna have to face some consequences and stuff, because that is some bullshit sellout shit. We're gonna go against the people and protect the corporation and make sure that they get money, because then we get a big old bonus at the end, and let these people all be killed and dying, and they have nobody that they can stand up to or anything, because this is a corporate law. I saw somebody who, it was quite obvious to me that they were blue, but they were trying to act like that they weren't any, like, I've got no biases here. But then, and I think he was from another country, but then he starts going off on, that Donald is destroying the Constitution. He kept saying about the Constitution is being destroyed and stuff like that. So I said, he's going against the corporation He's trying to bring us back to the Constitution. Like, these people are so backwards. He's going against the corporation. He's not going against the Constitution, but since they have no idea. And I think it has something to do with America and the United States. I think when we were the United States, we were under the Constitution. When they changed it into America, America became a corporation. And also the fringe is off the flags, and the flags are changed, but there's more stars than 9 of the one that he's got behind him. It's like a circle of stars, but that is what we're going into, is unity. But in the eagle's foot, it's holding swords, not olive branches. So I don't know, it's the battle, but the battle we're having is with the dark energy. It's with the evil. And I heard somebody saying about the draconians, and when they said that, I was like thinking how much it sounded like Dracula, and I was thinking, see, it is, and then she went in there like on the vampire and stuff like that, because I mean, we all know, like, once you see the evidence, like, these people fucking live off of us, like, and there's so many shape-shifting people. It's like such an illusion. This world is such an illusion, and it's such a monkey trap for these people who can't see anything as supernatural or anything, that they're just very stuck in the 3D. And it's so weird how in the 3D, what traps you is your own resistance. Like, you don't want to be weird. You don't want to think outside the box. You just want to fit in. And so it's you who holds yourself back. And see, like, this guy is out there, he's going against the Constitution, he's destroying it. America's Constitution's being destroyed. No, dude, he's trying to bring this back to the Constitution, trying to bring us back to God's law, get us off this corporate law, because when they started the corporate law, it started going against us, and that has to do with the legal system and stuff. And they have a different language. That legal system is written in a different language, and that's why these people have to study this language and stuff, just like the medical. So they're all misled, but still, somewhere along the line, when they were a corporate attorney, they knew that they were going against the people. They knew, just like some of these defense attorneys who took money to get people off of crimes who really committed the crimes. And the thing about crime and stuff like that, for the soul, you want to have you want to get your stuff in order. You don't want to be running from your stuff, because it's going to follow you. You can't run from it. When you do something, you have to pay the piper. And so you have to let karma go into balance and stuff. And so it's not doing people any favor to keep them out of consequences. So it is a part of more disruption in our system, to keep us out of what's in sync, to keep us out of the, going, because it would be great to just go with the flow all the time. But as we're, going with the flow, we're also going through murky waters. We're going through really rough patch. And so it's fucking rough, man. You get wounds. It's rough, dude. And so, anyways, so Elon, this is what gets me. And I didn't go look it up this morning or anything, but I kept on thinking, when I heard this, I was thinking, that's funny too. It's like the number flipped, because they found $41 trillion. And it's like just sitting over there. They don't know. It's just been sitting there. They don't know where it's supposed to go or whatever. It's marked for one thing, but it didn't go there. Just like they keep finding all this money hidden. But you got to remember, this is just a big fat laundry system anyways. This is all a big show. This is all just to kind of show. This is to bring stuff back to us. But there's still going to be things falling apart. And so so anyways, so finding this money, $41 trillion. And I was thinking, $41 trillion, wouldn't that just pay off all of our debt? Because isn't it a debt calculator that they have, that they say that the United States, or America, is in debt of $14 trillion? Like, we're in debt 14 trillion? Like, wouldn't that just wipe all our debt free? Like, why would we have any debt at all? And so just things like that. This is like, a part of this show is just like getting the books in the green, I think. But they've already been saying they're going to be giving stimulus checks or something, because I've heard people talking about it. So they're going to be sending money back. One guy asked Chat GPT, if they gave every American, if we split this money equally, this $41 trillion equally, how much would each American get? And the chat fella, computer guy, said that we would get $25,000 each. That's just one money thing. There's so much more to come. So much more to come. But it makes sense that they would start dropping in these stimulus things to try and, not just stimulate the economy, but stimulate us back to mental health. Like, we're not stressed out, like we can't pay our bills. We can finally get our car fixed. We can get a new car. We can go buy a camper. We can go buy some land. Whatever it is that it's going to give us something to get us started, to get us going in a new direction or something. And I don't know about this, rebuilding in the same places that are getting destroyed. That that to me is more of a sign, like the universe is pushing us out of certain places, but the people just are like, well, nature says this, but I say that. So I say, you better be a little bit more into sync with who's really in charge here, the universe and nature, not these motherfuckers. And so these people are losing their shit. And they're falling apart. And they're trying to take these other imbeciles down with them. And I don't want to be mean and say something about imbeciles, even though that was popped out. But it is like, it's such a distinct ignorance. And the people are so thriving off of it, and so argumentative and divisive off of such ignorance. And so it is kind of imbecilic. It is kind of like so absurd. It's like, how far can you take an argument before you feel like your foot's in your mouth and maybe you should go look something up? Maybe all these other people are seeing something you're not seeing. Like, come on. And so, but once it does click in, that is going to be a very humiliating for so many of these people. Just keep that in mind. Like, we can sit there and keep looking at them like, God damn, what in the foolish shit are you on? And while they're sitting there telling us, oh, you drank the Kool-Aid, didn't you? So... but once the truth is shown, I mean, any of us who have seen the truth, and it's not just manufactured in our minds, we've seen evidence for years. It's like, for fucking, this has been going on years. And so it's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be humiliating for a lot of these people, because this is all ego stuff. And so ego wounds are going to be rough. So people are going to feel a lot of humiliation, a lot of shame. They're going to feel like, I can't believe I was so stupid. They're going to feel really embarrassed. And so they have all that to go through. And I think that we've been prepared to like have empathy, not be kicking them while they're down. Here, take another one. Is to be a lot more empathetic and compassionate. Remember, what it's like to be misled. And, we've all been able to purge our anger and stomp and scream and everything during this while they're all defending the criminals. So, yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, yeah, they all are attacking the good guys and defending the criminals. And they don't have any clue. And so, yeah, they're going to feel like imbeciles. They're going to feel bad about themselves. So anyways, I don't want to add on to that or make it, so sorry to be, it's kind of harsh. But anyways, so the money thing, but they're saying that there's going to be this $8,000 stimulus. When last night I was thinking, well, I wonder if they're going to start giving us some money, $6,000 would be kind of nice, even though that truck is gone. But look at the way timing goes, like, it was obviously not meant to be mine. And who knows when this money's going to come. I wish it would come today. That would fucking do me a fucking solid, man. I could use it. And I still don't know really, which direction I want to go, because I feel like there's going to be more of an open door than just, here's some money. There's going to be more clarity. So far about one daughter who said that her and her guy, the one that just had the one with the blanket, so he just turned 2, so their smallest one is 2, and they were and they want to leave Washington State, And so they were thinking about like Kentucky and stuff for a while. And they had some friends, I think, that went over to Tennessee. So they were thinking about over there for a while. But now there's something about some land in Oregon that is opening up and going cheap or something. And she said that they think that they're going to try and go get some of this land in Oregon. And so, well, I said, well, I'll go and check too. But the thing is, to me too, is like, where does it fall on the doomsday map? Not that the doomsday map is, gospel, but it still is like a range that I think that we should pay attention to, because it is going to go inland. The water is going to come in. It is going to rise, and the mountains is going to stop. And our landscape is going to change. And so I think that those maps are a pretty good indicator or indication of what our landscape is going to be like. And so I think it is worth paying attention to. But anyways, so we'll see. I know that there's going to be a lot of things open up. I've told her, well, they're going to have the freedom cities too. I said, I may head towards a freedom city. And so I don't know when that's going to start, but everything is moving pretty quick. And so anyways, there will be things that will open up that will make it more clear. One daughter sent me a thing off Facebook of this thing that's for sale. So it was a bus that was, it looked like a bus that, not like a Greyhound, but the kind like the people go, a whole group, and then they take them on a tour or something, kind of like a tour bus or something. It's really big, really big windows and stuff. It looks like it was really nice. And then it's gutted. And so I was like, fuck, man, I don't think I could drive that around. Like, that would be intense. But that would be something that would be worth parking somewhere. But it's gutted. Like, you'd have to put in everything, the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom. Like, you'd have to put all that stuff in. But it does have a lot of room. And it is only $2,200. And it could be parked on a piece of property. And it could be made livable. Like, I'm living in a fucking tent right now in a garage. Like, I could put a tent up in that. Or live in that while you put it on a barn or something. So it may be good to use as some kind of a structure, So anyways, to me, things will come to me, It will come to me. I don't have to keep going out and forcing it, because it really, when you're trying to force things and you're trying to figure it out for yourself, it is overwhelming in your mind. It's just like, it takes up so much space. It takes up so much energy. It's so much, even though it's a challenge to just relax into things, that it is so much calmer. It's like, even when you're going through the murky waters, it's like you're just kind of going through quietly, even though there's a fucking nonsense all the fucking time. God damn, fucking dark energy is just relentless. But anyways, so I know that there's going to be things that are going to start coming back, but this would be the biggest transfer of wealth. And I was thinking, how fucking cool is it too? Because it's not just like this one generation, because this brings all the generations together. This is all of us. We're all having this biggest transfer of wealth. It's not just the older people or whatever, which, man, it just trips me out sometimes when I'll talk to my mom, because the programming was so deep for so long. Like, man, it's so crazy. But everybody's got different programming from their different times, because the programming now on the young people is insane. They've got people who, to me, putting a screen in front of these kids' faces, I think that they knew I was going to go down, but it made something in their brains not develop. It made it like dependent on the screen or something. I think that's why we see these kids that have these meltdowns. Like, you take their screen away and it's like their brain is like, wait a minute, they've got to hook back in. So we were a part of that as a society. I try to tell people, like, when I saw people doing that, I was like, don't do that. But I was like this oddball, because everybody else was all into technology. Like, no, this is so fucking great. We're going to have kids that are speaking Chinese by the time they're 1 year old, watching this screen, teaching them everything. People just got really caught up in it. And then what was offered on the screen was more, some weird show, which I think also has something to do with programming about like, so I don't know, some weird shit. But anyways, everybody's got different programming to break. The more that you've been breaking it actively during all of this stuff is good on you, you know, because these other people are going to have a lot of stuff that's going to be overwhelming to break down. But there's going to be a lot of things that they won't be being overwhelmed by, like bills and stuff like that, because there's going to keep being these shifts in the money. And they're going to start, like, they're not just doing this to just show us, like, oh, all this misspending. No, they're doing this to make it a big show. And so the money can start going back to the people, because this is the biggest thing about the age of Aquarius and the Jubilee and the transfer of wealth and stuff like that is, you know, this big switcheroo out of poverty into abundance for the humans. And what we were, it's like our birthright. And so, but a part of this show is that somebody was robbing us of our birthright. So anyways, it's got to play out, but the money is going to start coming back to us. And so I don't know, it would make sense to me that they would do it in these increments, you know, oh, look, they've got $8,000, and because it will give people opportunity to reevaluate with money, to get the things that they need. And but see, there's a part that the universe is not going to just drive this consumption, consumerism impulse in people. It's also going to be shaving that back. And so, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to play out. It's going to be just as twisted and intertwined as what is going on. It's going to be perfectly timed. So, if it's going to be a lot of loss is going to go in conjunction with a lot of gain, it's going to give people perspective. So it's like, you know, certain things don't really matter anymore. Because there is, like, when you lose certain things and stuff, there's a lot of things where it's like, man, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And I have definitely recognized that. Like, in the position I'm in now, it's like there's a lot of stuff where it's just like, fuck, that doesn't matter. You know, that doesn't matter. And so people get really caught up on a lot of shit that just doesn't matter. And they put a lot of dedication, a lot of time and effort. And that is going to, you know, be a part of the credit score and stuff too. Like, there's people who have dedicated so much time and energy into their credit score and being a good citizen and all that stuff. And it's all going to be blowing up in their faces. And, but it's not to be mean. It's to get them to question things, to get to experience something different. And you have to want to experience something different. You have to, you know, climb over the obstacles to get to the other side. And so that is what we're having now, is the obstacles that are being put in front of us to get us to the other side. But we still got to be the ones that climb them. And I also think one of the big things where money is going to start coming back into us is through the class action suits. I think there's going to be a lot of those. And now it's Tuesday. So I think we went all weekend without any huge, like, giant thing. Even though there's constant threats. I've seen somebody, like, in Canada saying that they're preparing for war. I don't know if they're preparing for war with us. Like, I don't know. It's all such a big show. I can't believe how many times over the last couple months I've seen, like, oh, Justin Trudeau stepped down. He's gone. Well, what is he still doing there then? How long does it take him to step down? Like, isn't it just like he's stepping down, he's gone? It's like he's still there. And I've seen so many videos talking about it. So, I don't know. It's all just such an absurd show. These people like Elizabeth Warren and stuff out there whining and crying, and she just getting exposed for all of her fucking corrupt shit. And all these people have just gotten rich off of fucking us over. That's what I'm talking about too with those corporate lawyers. You get rich off of fucking people over. That's bad karma. Just face the fucking facts. You've got yourself in some bad karma. Like, you got yourself in some dark, shady shit. And so the way you get out of dark, shady shit is, I don't know, witness it. You gotta see it for yourself. And then you gotta redeem yourself. You gotta put things back in order. That's what the universe just depends on. It's like what you put out of order, you got to put back in order. So some of these people who have been, some of the people aren't going to get any chance. Some of the people are just going down. And it's so crazy, too, how many people I hear now talking about, Donald just signed this executive order. You're going to be put to death if you have anything to do with children crimes and stuff like that. I was like, dude, I have been saying that for years. He put it in the fucking ones when he was in the last time. It's like, it's so weird how many people who, MAGA people and stuff like that, is like, when did you start paying attention? It's like, were you paying attention, or were you just arguing with other people? Like during that whole part where you just out there telling, oh, I'm a pure blood and you're an idiot. Like that kind of shit keeps you off from seeing the truth. Like if you're just out there arguing with people, trying to convince them that they're so stupid and you're so smart, then you're missing out on some shit, because there's so much shit that was already done and said. And it's just so crazy. You see them out there, oh yeah, can you believe it? It's like, yeah, I've been saying it for a couple of years now on here. So yeah, it's wacky, man. But really, during that period of time, what were people doing? Arguing about these, arguing about these. And so, and those people got right up on their own ass. Oh, we've outsmarted the government. You guys are all a bunch of stupid fools. And yeah, see, that's going to block you. It's going to block you from seeing what's going on, because you're too focused on the reality of arguing and trying to be the better person or smarter person or whatever the fuck it is you're trying to do. That's for you to figure out for yourself. You got to look at your own self deeper. But these people who have gone and fucked us over, like some are going to go down, some are going to meet the squad. They're not going to get an opportunity to redeem themselves here in this life, but some people will get opportunities to redeem themselves. And yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to put stuff back in order, and redeeming yourself is going to be a lot of in service to others, you know, which there's for sure one nurse, and it might be her videos that I keep seeing, but she was working at the nursing home, and she's quitting, and she's saying, if you have anybody in a nursing home, you need to be out there checking on them every day. She said, you don't know what's going on in those nursing homes, and it's not good. And I've been saying that for so fucking long. Like, I mean, that whole thing is some shenanigans. And it's sad. It's sad how our society has come. But yeah, there's going to be bad shit, because it's going to be the stuff that actually makes people be like, oh, that wasn't a good idea, was it? No, it wasn't. Turning over the old people who can't take care of themselves to a bunch of people who are getting minimum wage, who don't give a fuck. They were stealing them, raping them. Like, there's just been so much bad shit. But at this point, I think that there's ones that are not being taken care of. They're sitting there sick. They're not getting their medicine. They're sitting in soiled pants and soiled beds and stuff, like, and it's really bad for their skin. They need to be up walking. They need to be up dancing. They need to be up enjoying life. But they're put out to pasture, and then they're medicated out their fucking mind. And so, you know, it's kind of like, here, we're going to keep them hooked up to this machine while we get all their social security, and then when we're done with them, toss them out, you know, let them go. And they don't even give them the fucking kill shot, man. Just let them out there decrepit, rotting away. So anyways, yeah, if you've got anybody in one of those places, I think it's the time to start, you know, bringing people home. And it seems like a lot, especially when people are having to work 2 or 3 jobs, then they're overwhelmed, and then they're having to think like, well, now I've got to educate my kids too. Like, how the hell am I going to do all this? But you're going to get paid. They're going to be paying. Donald had already said that he was going to give money to people who would take care of their family members instead of putting them in there. So you're going to get paid for that. You're going to get paid for your schooling your kids. You're going to get paid for, you know, getting paid more for existing and doing the things that are right. And so, because people a long time ago, they weren't getting paid to take care of their family members and get paid to teach their kids and shit. They just had to do it because that's how you had to do it. They got us all off on this weird thing. So now we get this money back because we all went off on, no, they'll take care of them for us. And we all got lost. And there's so much, man. When I watch old movies, and it's just like, man, the progression of humanity and the programming and how they, like, it's trippy. It's like our history is there, kind of like a certain amount of it, if you watch through the programming. And then if you know some older people, you know, because you can talk to them and see, like, what was life, you know, you can put it all together. And there was such a, so much misleading. And but when they experienced it, just like this moon landing thing, it's trippy because to me, all I see is like, no fucking way did that happen. And she experienced it happening, and she's like, no, it happened. And so it was the creation of the illusion is so much into the programming of the different groups of people through different time periods and stuff like that. But anyways, there's a lot of stuff that's going to keep being revealed and unveiled and stuff, and it's going to keep, you know, putting people's minds into, you know, Wonderland and stuff. The easier that you can get into Wonderland and hold yourself stable is better. Get out of the box, get out of their fucking parameters of what they want you stuck in and how to think. But so anyways, so the money thing will start going back, and you'll start having money, and you won't have the pressures of having to go to work. And so you'll get back into the groove. And then when you are into that, you want to get more into the development of self. You know, like I've tried to tell my son-in-law and stuff, you don't be out there looking for jobs in these corporate things. This is all falling apart. And the reason why jobs are drying up and stuff is because the universe is trying to push you into the development of self, because you are your own currency. Like what you have, the skills that you have that other people need, then you have, that's your, where you can, get what's yours. You know, it comes back to you. So what people need that you offer, then that is where you'll get things that will come back to you. And it can be, you know, you don't have to say like, well, I get paid $1,000 an hour and I'm a life coach because I'm really smart. It is because there's a lot of those spiritual people that started that whole business. Like there were so many fucking life coaches charging thousands of dollars to people, and there was people who were paying it. It's like, that's one of the things why I wanted to start doing this, you know, free, just talking and stuff, because that's what people need, is just to be coached, you know, just, you know, it's going to be okay. Just look at it a little different, look at it a little deeper, look at things from another perspective and stuff. But I don't know what these life coaches do that they think that they make all this money for. And I've seen a lot of weird shit play out in that too online of, from both sides. So it was always a weird thing, you know. And but when you have something, so you have something that you know how to do, and like in my son-in-law's case, then it's like knows how to build things. There's so many people who need help, like what is that called? Like there's tons of single women and stuff with stuff that's broken, and they need home. What is that called? It's like a small business of going and doing small jobs for people. Like you could make a living off of that. But see, you got to market yourself. You got to put yourself out there. And then you got to go and you got to talk to these people, and you got to, you know, make arrangements. But you could be getting paid under the table, not having to deal with the fucking nonsense, which so many people now who are dealing with the nonsense now, that's the first thing they want done, is they don't want to be paying taxes anymore. So see, there's a big wave of that's coming. But so you could be being paid under the table, but you also barter. You can also make deals with people, like you're going to do something, you know, maybe this guy has got supplies that you need, and so you'll go and do this work for him if he gives you all of this stuff. So, and that's going to be more valuable, you know, he doesn't need it anymore. And this is how the universe will bring things into you too. This person doesn't need it anymore, you need it, and so you'll get more than what you would have gotten if you had to go pay for it. And so it's people will start recognizing the benefit, and you know, they'll start seeing like, oh fuck man, I go and do this, like I go fix their, you know, their electricity thing, their electricity problem or whatever, and you go and you fix that for them, and they're so thankful. And then maybe it is somebody who, you know, all they have is, you know, well, I could bake you a pie, because that used to be enough, man. It was enough, you know, appreciation. But that is where people have got to start recognizing, when you take that, the universe is going to give you more, because that is the energy the universe is looking for, of like, not being like, well, no, I have to have $200 and I need to have it by today, and I can't do this until you've paid me. You can do that. There's, you know, everything you do has got lessons and consequences and stuff. I'm just telling you what the universe appreciates, and where we're kind of headed. We're headed into a time where you don't have to demand it from somebody else. The universe is going to come in and make sure that you're getting the things you need from doing the energy you're putting out. And so there will be, things will start going into like a different kind of order than what we've been in, prior to this. So things will start going in order. And but that is why I say, to put your development in, not to go out looking for jobs and trying to conform to some other boss and some other rules, corporate rules and shit, to get out there and develop yourself. Like, if you, a handyman. So if you wanted to be a handyman and you know how to build porches, you know how to fix foundations and stuff like that, work on learning more stuff. Start learning everything you can about electricity and about how to put the lines in, or plumbing, or whatever, because you can learn all that stuff online now. And those different things are they instead got everybody to go to universities to get a piece of paper that tells them that they understand gender identity, instead of going and developing themselves. And so we're losing all these electricians, these plumbers, all these kinds of things that we all need in our homes to have people work on them. And anybody who lives rural already knows the pain of that. They already know, like, oh man, there's not enough of them. And they are picking and choosing where they're working. They can keep their place small. And so if you aren't, and then they'll charge huge money to come out to you. And so, yeah, those jobs, those people have a steady income. And the less of them the more that they can charge, because their time has more value. And so we have to pay more and more and more, because there's only a few of them left. So the more that a guy, he's losing his jobs, but he has an understanding of different kinds of building or electricity, whatever, then I would build off of that, get it to where you could just go and build a house from scratch by yourself. Learn how to do those things, because there's going to be a lot of that going. And the more that you have value of being able to do those things, and the more you can help, the more that you will get the things back you need. And you will be able to charge people too. It's not like you can't charge anybody. But when somebody has no money and they have a need, then you don't choose the money over what people need. The universe doesn't appreciate that. We're going to watch how this is all rounded up. You're going to see how, the energy that was not what the dark energy that the light doesn't appreciate, the dark will be receded. The dark will be going and the light will be shining. So a lot of these people who were profiting off the dark, that's going to flip over on them. They're not going to, things are going to fall apart. Their businesses are going to fall apart. Their lives are going to fall apart. Everything is going to start falling apart and unraveling, to kind of give them an opportunity to pick it up, to get it back together, to recognize what's going on and stuff. But a lot of people go on to this other level instead of seeing, because they don't take responsibility for themselves. So they start seeing like, oh, God's out to get them, or they just look at everything backwards. So, but that is a part of the awakening, is to broaden how you see things. And so much has to do with being able to start understanding you are a soul here having an experience. This experience is not your real life. This is just a game, a show, a movie that you're in for the universe. Well, it's kind of like for the watchers. It's kind of like the watchers, so they can watch all this stuff play out. Like if we were out there, we could watch it, but I don't know that it would have the same meaning to us as it does to come in and experience it. So that's what, to me, about the life after life after life, that concept is, it's more about the learning through experience and the development through experience and the expansion through experience. So anyways, but to me, a lot of this awakening has so much to do with the starting to see this place with not through this distortion. So when they say the veil's going off, that it's like things become more clear, so that you can understand this place, you can understand the people who run this place, You can understand what's going on here, but then you got to go into this other level of like, what does the universe want? What is the universe's energy? What is the light's energy? What is it that they want? And I'll just tell you what the things I understand what they want is they want us to have morals and priorities and stuff. And it's not like their demands. It's not like God up there, well, these immoral people, we're going to put them through hell until they get it together. No, because we do this to ourselves. Like, we are souls. Like, we already are advanced beings and stuff. It's like this just makes you wiser. All of these things that you go through, it makes you more vibrant or something. And so, anyways, the going through all of the different experiences has value, but there's something else I was saying, and I can't remember what it was now. But anyways, I think you get what I'm saying, because I feel like I'm on repeat sometimes. I just keep saying the same things over and over. Because it does seem like people are just so caught up in this 3D world, and they are so caught up in the distortion of reality. And so, but when you plug in, oh yeah, because what the universe wants. So when you plug in, so when you think about the universe, it has light and dark. So it has no shame on the dark. It's not like, oh, the dark sucks. No, the dark and the light work together, because you can't experience the light without experiencing the dark. You need both to experience one another. And so this, like right now, we're going to see that play out, because we're going to have a lot of dark things happen, but that's going to bring in the light. And so that they work together like that. And so when you're trying to focus on the light, it is like the truth. It's like being real. It's like being honest. It's everything, being in the light and learning how to be comfortable, not feeling like you have to hide yourself. It has to do with the unity, not letting all the little bullshit get in the way of love, and bringing in the love and the unity. And so everything that's going in that direction is the direction we're headed. So letting go of everything that is the darkness, letting go of everything that is divisive, letting go of all of your anger and your resentment, your hate, letting go of all of that stuff to move you into the light. And because that is where we're going into this more light time. And so but the people who don't do it, see, they're going to feel, it's like a clumsiness. They're going to feel the weight of what they're carrying around until they purge it out. And so this is going to keep happening. There's no skipping it. It's not like there can be people who are just going to turn the other way. I'm going to get drunk a couple nights a week. I'm just not going to pay any attention and it'll go away. No, none of this is going away. You have to process through it to let go of it. And so everything that comes up for you is for you to process through. And so it is all a cleansing. It's a clearing. And it's taking us into the light. So everything that you need to clear and cleanse is what you need to do to get to where you are lighter feeling. Like, it's easy kind of to gauge of like where you feel more heavy and angry and dense, and where you feel more like lighter and happy, like, like you're ready to take off and fly. Like, there's nothing holding me back except for this weird fucking energy, this weird fucking atmosphere, and I don't know what the fuck, because it is flipping. It is changing, and it's on all these different levels. Everything is micro and macro, so everything is all the different levels, and it's wherever you are, whatever level that you focus on is the level you're going to experience. And so there's a lot of people who aren't experiencing the spiritual side of things yet. But once they do, once they start seeing, it's going to be a lot of cleanup on aisle 10, man. So they're going to have to really get focused, which is going to be very overwhelming, and they're going to have a lot of emotions and stuff to try and maneuver through that are really dragging them down. But all of those things are the things you need to work on, and those are all the things that you carry with you, that come along in your DNA with you, because they're meant for you to work on them. So it's all happening exactly the way it's supposed to happen. And so it's all by perspective of what it is that you're looking at, what it is that you're realizing. But there's going to be a coming together on the spiritual side, there's going to be more eyes turning in a certain direction, and more of that direction is going to have more life. And so that's where we're going into after all this purging and stuff, is going into this time of unity and creativity and independence and freedom and stuff. But now these payoffs and stuff, this will be, starting to get us going. So I hope I hope they're really going to start. I think that he's ready to hurry and get going. Like, he seems like he's just trucking fast, man. He's like, woo, woo, woo. He's not like how it was like the past 4 years. It was like, oh my God, how much of this do we have to go through? I couldn't believe it. And it was like Groundhog Day. It was just over and over and over. Same fucking day. Now it's like, I wish it would go faster. I wish, like, fuck, that people would be awake and we could be talking about things, and but it's coming. It's coming. And, but, there's still going to be some challenges. And a lot of the people who aren't seeing things clearly are going to go through the harshest challenges. And so, but it's on all different levels. It's not just blue people. There's red people, there's religious people, there's all sorts of people that have got blockages. And people's blockages are going to be, being exploded out. The universe is going to be detonating these blockages. And that is, where you got to go internal. You got to go inside and to process through it. And that kind of shows you what you're made of. But that is the important part, is being able to go inside and to recognize your own stuff. And not just sit back and whine and cry and blame everybody else for how you feel and what goes on and their fault is their fault. To get more of like, just, what was that one? That was really, it was interesting. Let me think what it was. Because it was something I was shown like last night. It was, something with marriage, something with not being appreciated or not being seen for, oh dang, what was it? It was very, it was really interesting, because I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Because it is, dang, what was it? Being in the healing part, man, I bet you I'm going to remember after I finish, because it's like something about when you're in the healing part and nobody sees each other where they are, because they're just trying to heal their own stuff. But I don't know, it's something about that. I don't know, it'll come to me. I can't see it. I can't remember it clear enough, but it was like, oh my gosh. I'm always getting shown things where I'm always like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just think that's a part of getting yourself in connection. Which, one thing that they keep telling me is, before, years ago, it was seer. And so I kept having that come into my mind, and prophet. Now it's oracle. And so I think there's a lot of us here that are considered like oracles or prophets or something. And it's because we can see things. We can see things that other people can't see. And one thing too is, when you can see things that other people can't see, that you can be stifled in life, because the people around you can't accept it, and they can't accept what you're saying, and so then you become odd man out. And so there's going to be a lot of that kind of shifting and stuff too, because there's so many people who have been discounted, who could see. I mean, and one thing, just look at our society. We had a bunch of people who were able to see in other realms and talk to other beings and shit like that. And then they got diagnosed and put on drugs, because that's not what they want us doing. They don't want us doing that. And what is even creepier is, oh man, they take some of those people who have those abilities and they use them. They use them. Oh man, it all depends on what you're here for. Because there's some people who get to go in the mental hospital and just get taken in there and drugged out of their minds and stuff. But there's other ones that get taken and so used to try and get him to talk to beings and stuff. Uh, See, they just use people and use people. They know exactly what they're doing. Uh, so, anyways, but it's all, it's all in the big reveal. It's all being shown to us. Which this morning, again, when I got up, there is a blood spot right here. I have looked at all of them. I cannot find any blood spot, any place that looks like, oh, they're on a big puppy pile right here, all three of them. But I can't find anything on any of them that looks bloody. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I haven't seen Max be puking, but I have seen these weird blood spots. But I don't know. He usually, when he pukes, he doesn't go back and eat it now, like how he did when he very first came. He like was ready to fight me for the puke. It's like, dude, don't you? But I don't know, man. It's weird. So weird. And the weather here, it's supposed to snow more. It's like, oh my God, I just want to get out of here and go get water now. And even when I get paid tomorrow, it's still going to be like a broke ass bitch until the next payday. I think once March starts going, then I've got some little things to pay, like get the wood guy a money order. But, if this fucking 8K came in, it'd be like, hey, that would really help me out. Just get all this shit paid. But then there's another thing, too, of like my last bill on my... what is that called? Your electricity, your water, and all that shit. And it's like, do I want to pay that? Because all that's ending. Do I really want to pay that? Or just be like, let it end for me here? Because resources and stuff. Because you got to think about it kind of as like when they first started garbage collection, I think. It was gangsters. And so it's like the gangsters are in charge of our resources. They're in charge of our water and stuff. And it always comes down to these gangsters, which I ended up watching this other movie last night or yesterday called Flight Plan, I think it was. It was this action-packed. I'm not really into action movies. I usually don't sit and watch all the fighting and explosions and stuff like that. It was an action-packed movie of a marshal is moving a witness, and so she's in Alaska. She caught up with him in Alaska. Now he's like an accountant who's going against a big crime lord, and so he is gotten by the marshal, and then they're going to go on a small plane and fly to Anchorage, and then go to Seattle or something. They're going to whatever the place to hide him out for the trial, but the main jetty guy or whatever is on trial, so they're trying to get him there to get the guy put in jail. So and this is a Mel Gibson movie, which I didn't know until the end. And so once I had seen who made it, I was like, oh, see, he's trying to make sure people understand how deep this espionage bullshit goes. Because so then Mark Wahlberg, which I always like Marky Mark. I don't know. I like Wahlberg. And I don't know, because there's a Diddy story on him too. So I don't know. I mean, we're going to see the truth on all these people. But so he is the pilot, but really he's a hitman. And a horrible hitman too. He's not one that just like, clean shot. No, he's one that likes to enjoy the process of torture. So he's really into that, and he keeps saying stuff. And so, but throughout the movie where it starts showing, because she's like, how does he know this stuff? How does he know this stuff? So start realizing, oh, the leak is the commander of the marshals. So he's being paid by the gangsters. But that's what I'm saying, is like the gangsters are all over in our thing. And so, yeah, but that's the kind of stuff, that's going to keep being shown and keep being shown, because it kind of imprints it into our mind, and it helps it. It's like planting a seed. And as these things unlock, it's like, oh my God. Like, because there's already, like, those of us who have been paying attention, we've already seen, like, there's so much corruption, like, all these three-letter agencies are full of corruptors. And also, big news on Donald is going to pardon Snowden, so that is going to be, and then the people are like, be prepared, because that guy's bringing he's bringing the sauce, or whatever people like to say. He's bringing it. He'll be like, what's his name, the other guy that they had imprisoned, the WikiLeaks guy. So those two guys, they are gonna, they're part of the dream team of the takedown of the corporation of these monsters. So anyways, it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep dismantling. It's going to keep being people who don't get what's going on. But just remember, they don't get what's going on because they blocked it. They've been arguing with people, not paying attention. They don't think that they need to look at this or that. Like, I don't know. They've all got their own issues. So it's going to keep playing out. And every time you say something, you always have these people who come in and, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's destroying America. It's like, okay, well, you see what you see, I see what I see. It's not the same thing. So let's look at my tooth, though. Let's see what we see there. So it is, see, it definitely goes through this process. Like, it starts getting dark, it starts getting orange. It just keeps filling in and filling in. And so, yeah, it just keeps filling in. So now it seems like it's going back towards the white color again. And then it will go back and will show the darkness of where there's the darker parts, there's the more deeper. And then it will go through and keep trying to bring itself up until it's all like level, I guess. So anyways, that's what healing your tooth looks like. So just remember what healing the spirit looks like. And that is learning how to love yourself, and learning how to love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later. Bye.